Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another episode of the Big Blue News Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Beesmore. It's episode 20. I'm happy to be back. I know it's been like 2 weeks since I last recorded a podcast. The only reason why I've been gone so long is because I went on vacation for a full week. And then before that, I had to pack and everything. But my vacation was great. But I'm back home. I'm excited to record another podcast. But during vacation, I was so happy with the UK basketball team with how great they played. And I'm also going to keep this podcast short, but let's get into it again. Kentucky basketball, they looked great during the Bahamas. The very last game, though, they looked a little slow, but of course they were playing a night game, and then they were playing an early day game after that. I think they played around noon or 1 the following day after the night game. So they were a little sluggish, of course, but definitely during the Bahamas, I was very impressed by that, by the team, even though there was a little uproar on Twitter because of Kyle Tucker from The Athletic quoting a quote from John Calipari saying that Kentucky is a basketball school and not a football school, and that caused so much of an uproar on social media. And of course, it was not a good look. And Coach Cal shouldn't have probably said that, shouldn't have admitted that. Obviously, he's right. Kentucky is more of a basketball school compared to a football school. But like I said, I am very impressed by this Kentucky basketball team. Antonio Reeves looks great. Casey Wallace looks great, even as a freshman. Chris Livingston as well. Xavier Wheeler looking great coming back. Oscar Sheboy looking great, even though he didn't play as much uh, in the Bahamas. I think he only played, 20 minutes a game, but he had other players, of course, or UK had other players playing instead of him. You had Lance Ware playing more, Damian Collins playing more, Jacob Toppin. Jake, definitely the two players that I was definitely the most impressed by was Jacob Toppin, and then of course Antonio Reeves. I thought Antonio Reeves was going to be a great player. I did not expect him to perform the way he did, like he did in the Bahamas, and I'm so excited about that. My predictions for the starting five, of course, is still a little bit away. Is Xavier Wheeler, Casey Wallace at the two, the three. I was debating on Antonio Reeves, but I'd still say Chris Livingston will get the nod as the three. At the four, you'll have Jacob Toppin and then Oscar Sheboy. But the bench is going to look insane. You'll have Damian Collins coming off the bench and Antonio Reeves coming off the bench as well. Whew, those two great players is going to be great. But that's all I'm going to talk about the Bahamas. I might go into more of a more in-depth podcast episode in a little bit, maybe in a couple days. But I just wanted to keep this podcast short. I'm done talking about basketball. I'm going to talk a little bit more though about UK football since the season is almost 10 days away, almost a week away. I'm so excited about UK football, even though I am a little upset that we could see three players being suspended for UK. Of course, everybody knows Chris Rodriguez will be suspended. Matt Jones said that uh, he'll be suspended between 3 to 4 games. It has not been announced yet. I'm waiting for the announcement. Hopefully, it'll come very soon. And then, of course, you'll also have Jordan Wright probably going to be suspended a game as well. And then Matt Jones also said that there could be one other offensive player that could be suspended, but that has not been confirmed yet. So I'm a little nervous about UK to start off the season. Obviously, they're going to win their first game of the year, but that second week, whenever they have to play against Florida, in Florida or at Florida, that game is going to be tough without Chris Rodriguez not playing. I think UK can still win that game. Of course, they'll have to rely more on their other running backs with Juton McClain, Ramon Jefferson, Kavassier Smoke. We have a big running back depth chart. So obviously, other players will have to fill that hole for the first 3 to 4 weeks, however long he's suspended. But once we get Chris Rodriguez back, I am fully confident that UK will have a great year. I think, like I said, I've been predicting at worst UK goes 8-4 this year before the bowl game. At best, they go 10-2 at best for UK's record. But my prediction is UK will go 9-3 this upcoming year. Will Levis is going to have a great year. Although we will miss Wandale Robinson, we do have a lot of wide receivers though from transferring or coming in as a freshman. It'll be interesting to see how UK will replace Wandale Robinson. Obviously, we have Tavion Robinson, we have Dane Key, Barry Brown, Jordan Anthony. The list goes on, and we'll see how much UK also uses their tight ends in the passing game, because mainly the tight ends they've been blocking for the most part. So with the new offensive coordinator, I'm very interested to see what he does with the running backs and the tight ends. But for sure, I think UK will have a great year with football wise, as long as there's no injuries. And then also, we'll see how long Chris Rodriguez gets suspended for. Hopefully not long, but I am very high on UK this year. I think they can go 9-3. And that's all I have for talking about Kentucky basketball and football. I'm going to preview this coming up week right now. So the plan is this Saturday, I will be interviewing Jeff Pecoro, who's one of the UK football announcers. So I'll interview him on Saturday, and that podcast episode will air on Sunday. And then I will also be interviewing former UK football punter Max Duffy. So if you are interested in maybe asking him a question, I will have a link down below on my YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to, where you can send a voice message in, and you'll be able to ask Max Duffy a question. Obviously, I will preview each question you have, and if I feel like it's appropriate to air, then I'll air it. But like I said, I'm ready for this upcoming year. For the Max Duffy interview, I'll do the interview on Saturday, and then I'll post clips of it on my YouTube channel Monday through Friday. And then the date of the game on Saturday, I will post the full interview, full podcast episode for y'all to listen to, and hopefully y'all will definitely enjoy that. But like I said, I have it planned out so far for this season, and obviously things can change, but I have so far, I believe, 9 players that will be on my podcast. I'll have, I don't have the list in front of me, but like I said, Max Duffy that I already named. Then you'll have Terry Wilson, Sawyer Smith, Jeff Badette, Garrett Johnson, Cash Daniel, Steven Johnson. I've named 7 out of the 12. Otis Grigsby, that's 8. And I'm missing, I know, one more player. I know David Bouvier just told me he'll join my podcast. So that's 9. And I'm missing one other player. So right now I have 10 players covered for 10 of the 12 games this year. So I'm excited about that. But that's all I have for tonight's podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you want to get in contact with me, you can follow me on Twitter. It is CBeatsmore Sports. And then also on Instagram, where it is Chris Beatsmore _sports. But I hope you all have a great night. If you're listening to this the next day, I hope you have a great week or great morning. But that's all I have. A new podcast episode will be coming this weekend, though, once I interview Jeff Pecoro. Obviously, I could film another podcast episode if they announce how long Chris Rodriguez's suspension is. But I'll keep y'all up to date. Make sure to, like I said, follow my social media, get in contact with me if y'all want to. But that's all I have. Thank you all.